So let's talk about where your money actually goes. We're going to dig into some of those hidden habits that are just silently draining your bank account. And more importantly, what we can do to stop them. Yeah, does this look familiar? It's that moment, right? It's the end of the month, you're staring at your bank statement, and you're just completely confused because the numbers, they just don't make any sense. I mean, you know for a fact you didn't do anything crazy. There isn't some brand new car sitting out in the driveway. And you definitely didn't just get back from some fancy five-star vacation, right? So, all the big ticket items, they're accounted for. And that's the big mystery, isn't it? If it wasn't one huge purchase, then where in the world did all that money actually go? Okay, so here's how we're going to crack this case. We'll start with this vanishing money problem, then get into the daily habits and sneaky traps that are causing it. Oh, and you're definitely going to want to stick around for the end, because we're going to talk about a $5,000 payoff. All right, section one, the vanishing money problem. The uncomfortable truth about your budget is that the reason your money seems to disappear, well, it's almost never what you think it is. And this, right here, this is the key. It's not the big, memorable purchases that wreck your budget. No, it's the small stuff, the things you buy every single day without even thinking about it. Those are the real culprits, and they add up to a fortune over time. Okay, so what are these little budget killers? Let's jump into the first three, which are probably the most common daily spending habits out there. All right, first up, the daily coffee. And look, this is not about telling you to give up caffeine. It's about the numbers. A $5 coffee from a shop versus, 50 cents to brew it at home? That is a 10 times difference every single day. And here's where that difference just completely blows up. I mean, 25 bucks a week. Okay, that might not sound like a huge deal, but then it turns into $100 a month, which means you're spending over $1,200 a year. Think about that, just on coffee. And you know what the crazy part is? For most of us, it's not even about the taste. It's the habit. It's the convenience of just swinging through the drive-thru. But you gotta ask yourself, is that little bit of convenience really worth over $1,000 a year? Especially when it takes, 2 minutes to make it at home? Okay, let's move on to habit number two. And this next number it's just wild. 2,000 times. That's how much more bottled water can cost compared to tap water. It is one of the most insane markups for convenience that you can possibly find. So let's look at the annual cost here. If you buy just one bottle a day, you could be spending up to $1,000 a year. $1,000. Or you could get a reusable bottle and a filter for maybe 60 bucks. I mean, the savings are just massive. And hey, it's way better for the planet too. Habit number three, fast food, runs on that exact same principle, convenience. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. The whole industry is designed for impulse decisions. It's literally built to get you when you're tired, you're hungry, and you just don't want to think about it. And that meal that feels like a cheap $10 fix, it adds up so fast. Let's say you do it 3 times a week. That's around 150 bucks a month. Over a year, that's almost $2,000. That's a whole lot of cash to spend on impulse. So the smarter swap here is just simple home meals. And listen, we are not talking about becoming a gourmet chef. We're talking super simple stuff. Rice and chicken, some pasta, eggs and toast, a homemade sandwich. These things cost a tiny fraction of takeout. Maybe $2 to $4 a meal instead of 10 or 12. All right, now let's talk about the really hidden traps. These next two habits are a little sneakier because honestly, they kind of feel like you're making a smart, responsible decision. But oh boy, the math tells a completely different story. Yes, the extended warranty. This is such a classic money trap. Here's the inside scoop. Most products, if they're going to break, they either fail right away while they're still under the regular warranty, or they last for years and years. So instead of buying their warranty, try this. Just say no, and take that same money and stick it in your own little repair fund. Best case scenario, nothing breaks, and you just keep the cash. It puts you in control, not the store. And number 5, our last hidden trap. The constant need to upgrade our gadgets. Let's be honest, the marketing for this stuff is brilliant. They are masters at making your perfectly good 2-year-old phone feel like an ancient relic. But the reality is, if you can just shift from that typical 2-year upgrade cycle to a smarter 4 or 5-year cycle, you will literally save thousands of dollars. Okay, so we've looked at all these little ways money leaks out of your account. Now for the fun part, the payoff. This is where we get to see just how incredibly powerful making these small little changes can really be. So here it is, the big reveal. When you tackle just these 5 habits, the coffee, the bottled water, the fast food, those useless warranties, and the gadget upgrades, you could realistically save $5,000 a year in a single year. Just let that sink in for a second. For most of us, that's a truly life-changing amount of money. And 5 grand isn't just a number on a screen, right? It's freedom. It's the power to finally attack your debt, to build up that emergency fund you know you need, or to actually start investing for your future. It's about giving yourself some breathing room financially. So you see, saving a serious amount of money doesn't have to mean making some huge, painful sacrifice. It really just means being a little more intentional with the small stuff, day in and day out. And that leaves me with one last question for you to think about. What's one thing you stopped buying that ended up saving you a whole lot of money?